All right. Third Circuit Court for the County of Wayne is now in session. The Honorable Judge Bonda R. Evans presiding. Please be seated. Remain quiet while court's in session.
Okay, good. You ready?
This is case number 155224, the people versus Corsair Stevenson. Mr. Stevenson is here today.
Yes, for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Felipe Torres on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Timothy Rather on behalf of Mr. Peterson, who's approaching now.
You had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report.
We have, Your Honor. The only correction to make is on the case page where it says second state. I just wanted to make sure it was correct that it had been adjourned 10/19 to 11/11.
Okay, very good. Anything you want to say on your behalf?
No, ma'am.
Very good. Court is going to give you 2 years on the felony firearm count 5, probation on count 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I'm going to give them, he's on parole.
Yes.
You know what, counts 2, 3, 4, and 6, I'm going to close them out. And then give them 2 years flat on the felony firearm. All your credit goes to your case that you're on parole for. You understand that? Okay, very good. You got 42 days to know my decision. Oh, court is going to close out his other probation officer. You have 42 days to know my decision. The court attorney wants to appoint you. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take him back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thanks. Anything else, Ray?
You have one right.
Come on.
Attorney on Awalawi. This is case number 15516602, the people versus Hussein Awalawi. Mr. Awalawi is here today to be sentenced.
Appearance for the record.
John Donaldson on behalf of the people.
You had the opportunity to review the pre-sentence report.
I have, Judge, just one correction. It was the sentencing date. We had it in for today, but it was scheduled, I asked him up for yesterday.
Okay, very good. Anything you want to say on your behalf?
Yes, Judge. This incident did happen back in April. We first came to court, I believe it was early August, and Your Honor gave him a bunch of bond conditions. He was required to go to NA 5 times a week, which I do have proof of, and the court like to see that.
Okay.
He's been testing 3 times a week, I believe, since then. Judge, I believe the first couple tests were dirty, but he's been clean pretty much ever since we came to court.
Okay, very good.
Judge, he has taken this incredibly seriously. He's been doing really good on bond, and...
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put this man out, because I know you want to do a brief or something. Close an argument.
No, Judge, I'm ready to go.
All right.
I just want to quickly...
Oh, that's good. What's going on with you? You still smoking weed? Huh? You left that up?
Yeah, thank God.
Okay. You take a Xanax?
No,
You ain't doing nothing.
nothing.
What? What you doing?
Nothing.
I don't believe that.
I promise you.
You working?
Yeah.
Where you work?
I work at Oil Change Gas Station.
Where?
21614 Harper Road, Street, George.
Okay, well, at least you know the address, so that's true. Okay, this is what the court is gonna do. I'm gonna place him on 1 year probation. I'm putting him on 18-month probation. I'm going to, fine you $1,000. Did you post the bond? You did?
Yeah.
Did you put the money up?
Yes.
I'm gonna take the money.
Yes.
Okay, very good. I'm just saying the court is. Okay, judge, take the money, okay. No, just kidding. All right, I'm gonna take the bond, and then I'm gonna place you on non-reporting probation. I'm gonna require you to continue to drop. That's what I want to know. I want to monitor. You understand? I believe you. You know, you gotta stop doing it. You understand that?
Trust me, I'm trying to get a job right now that requires me not to smoke, so I'm not.
Trucking job.
Yeah.
A what?
The trucking job.
That's real good.
Yeah.
You cannot be driving no truck getting high. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed and driving down the street. That's not cool.
No, I'm engaged, so I'm not trying. I'm trying to.
So that's where your money going now. You engaged. I understand. Okay. You can't buy that weed no more, huh? Huh? How much was an ounce of weed anyway back in the day?
Back, I don't know.
What was you getting medical marijuana?
Yeah, back in my day, all right, it's
In
like
your day?
$200.
$200 for an ounce? Are you serious?
Good stuff, $250.
What? So how much was you smoking in? Like how many joints? Do they call it that or blunt? You smoked out of a bomb?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much was you? How much did the alcohol?
I would never buy a house. I would smoke probably like eighth of a house, like weed.
And how much is that?
Like $40.
You think I believe that? You better
You have
stop.
to remain quiet while.
Stop
person-
talking in my courtroom. It's not funny. All right.
I'm over the customer.
You are?
Yeah, you could do it, I'm over it.
Huh? Really?
Yeah.
Because some of my colleagues believe it's what do they call marijuana? A gateway drug. When you start smoking weed, they should be using heroin. Okay? I'm just saying.
Get into the prison.
Okay, well, listen. Stop. You understand that? Seriously. You know what? Because here's the situation. I'm being very serious. That's a roadblock. There's so many opportunities out here for you. You understand that trucking is awesome. I mean, I don't even have to tell you. But, you know, if you're going to do it right. You understand? And it's a time and a season for everything. You're 22 years old. You understand that? And so it's the season now of supposed to be mature. Let's put it that way. You understand that? And look towards your future. That's what I want you to do. You understand that? All right. All right, dear. I'm very proud of your success. And so anyway, how'd you stop smoking weed? I'm serious.
I just stopped, you know, I started like looking at the big picture. I didn't want to smoke anymore.
Well, the big because you don't want to get locked up.
No, I had different opportunities, you know, that was always stopping me from doing what I wanted to do. Like, I had a medical assisting degree and I just never got into it because of all those areas or whatever. And so once I stopped that, a lot of other stuff opened up for me.
But I'm still testing.
That's fine.
And guess what happens if you test positive? Guess where you gonna come? You don't know where you gonna come?
Yeah.
You're gonna come back in front of me.
No problem.
Okay. And you know I'm not gonna be happy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be screaming and hollering, right? So you have to do it. The first time I saw you, I scared you.
That's what stopped me. That's what stopped me.
What?
You scared me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens to most men in my life. I see it. You hear that, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, Judge.
All right, very good. Good luck to you, young man. Get your life together. You got a seat. Don't need a court. All right, very good. Let's start on my trial.
You want Randazzo? These two? I want these two and this one.
11.
Council's asked for copies of that document. John's getting it for him right now.
Where's your assistant, Mr. Thomas? All right, come on, bring jury out. Bring jury out.
All right.
Please be seated.
Case number 154-615, People versus William Melendez, jury trial in progress.
Appears for the record.
Robert Donaldson, attorney on behalf of the people in the company of Kerman, DeFranco, and John Donalds.
Your Honor, James Thomas, on behalf of Officer Melendez, is here at my right.
Alex Brand on behalf of Commissioner Melendez.
Are you next one?
I'm ready to proceed. Is that what you said, Judge?
Yeah.
I want to continue in the examination of Officer Randazzo.
Oh, that's right. Now, you were sure the court yesterday you only got 5 minutes. Has that changed?
It depends on whether you want to ask some questions too.
Oh, you still on your own.
Thank you.
Now, remember what I said, we're gonna take a, I had some other stuff that we like to take care of some evidentiary issues outside the present jury. But we're gonna take maybe about a half an hour, 40-minute break, but we're going to 2, we're gonna stop at 2 then, okay? You may be seated.
Officer Randazzo, were you assigned ever to the SIU?
Yes, I was.
What's
And-
that?
See what I mean? Please, what is that?
A Special Investigations Unit?
What does that mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we were
This is
assigned,
beyond the scope of crime.
We're talking about the danger out at the Budget Inn, and whether or not
I'll
you...
allow, go ahead.
Okay.
Special Investigations Unit, we were assigned to the Detective Bureau. We acted as a narcotics unit. We assisted the Detective Bureau in investigations as far as homicides, follow up on other type of domestic violences, DB, narcotics, anything along the lines that had to do with any type of investigations.
Did you ever, as a member of the SIU, do surveillance?
Yes, I have.
Did you ever use binoculars?
Yes,
Did you ever see Officer Melendez use binoculars?
I have.
Were you assigned with him on the SIU?
I was.
And how long were you assigned there?
Approximately, I was on the unit probably about 2.5 years.
And when you were on it with Officer Melendez, did you make arrests?
Yes, sir.
How many arrests?
I believe we arrested over 600 suspects.
You had indicated in your direct testimony that you had an opportunity to observe Mr. Dent when he was on the ground,
That is correct.
and you indicated that you did not see him kicking.
I observed him flailing his legs around.
Okay. So he was moving?
Yes, sir.
That movement was continuous during the period of time that he was, that you were there?
That is correct.
And did there come a time when he stopped flailing?
Yes, when he was in handcuffs.
Was there a taser that was applied to him before he stopped flailing?
Prior to beginning, I guess.
Oh, you did not see the taser?
No, sir.
What did you think he was doing when he was moving his feet and flailing?
When I arrived on scene, his actions were consistent with someone who was trying to get away.
All right. Now, you were asked some questions about some text messages that you had with Officer Zielinski. You remember that?
I did.
You testified that that he was an auxiliary officer and that you were a union representative,
That is correct.
and there was a couple of specific tests that I want to go over with you.
Okay.
Okay. Is it fair to say that once the chief had initiated the investigation, that you as a union representative were wearing 2 hats, one as a police officer and one as a union rep?
That is correct.
All right. And was it just Officer Zielinski that you were speaking to as your union representative relating to that particular incident?
No, sir.
What was the potential at that point once the chief had done her investigation? Were you considering a lawsuit?
Was I considering a
Were
lawsuit?
you considering that there was going to be a lawsuit against
Yes.
your officers?
Yes.
Did you consider that there might be a potential for criminal case against your officers?
Yes.
And the reason, when did that become apparent that you thought that there was going to be a criminal case against your officers?
Once she issued the order to Sergeant Kreitzer to start the investigation, as a union president, I automatically go to that assumption that there's going to be some type of major internal investigation that could result in departmental charges and possibly any type of criminal charges.
All right. But you were out there.
That is correct.
All right. Did you take a position that you thought that there might be a potential for criminal charges because you thought something criminal happened out there?
I think this is number one, Dan, and scope number
Same.
two, irrelevant.
But I'm gonna give you a little attitude. Go ahead. But I mean, this is not redirect, examination of this witness.
It is not.
Go ahead.
All right.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Did you take a position that you thought that there was that a crime had occurred out there that day?
No, sir.
All right. Based on what you saw, did you think that the officer's actions were reasonable?
Yes.
All right. Now, you were asked about a text message about between you and Officer Zelenuski. Do you recall that?
I did.
Do you recall the text message relating to sticking up for us or against us?
I did.
Do you have a, I want to ask you, what were the text messages that led up to that?
They were referring to the news media. The story had broke on national news. And at that time, being a union president and also a police officer in the city, I felt it was going to cause more tensions within the department, making my job a little bit harder, and also tension in the community.
All right. Now, when you were talking to Officer Zelenuski relating to this particular area, it was not in February of 2015, was it?
No.
It was in April of 2015 after Mr. Dent had gone on TV.
Correct.
All right. Do you remember a text message relating to Fox 2?
I don't remember the exact text message, but I do remember something about the news media.
Was there a text message from outgoing from Mr. Zelenuski? Fox 2 just did a great story on how maybe...
Your Honor, I'm going to object. This is hearsay.
Sustained.
Judge, these statements were heard by this witness, and they give him context.
No, it doesn't.
And it's not being
It's
offered
hearsay.
for the truth.
Then what's the offer for?
It's offered to show what his
No.
response was.
No.
All right. Did you tell him?
I'm going to object on hearsay. I utilize the
No,
document to
his
cross-examine.
statement now, Judge.
he wants to put in a substantive evidence.
Sustained.
All right. It wasn't in February. It was in April. Is that right?
Correct.
It was about a Fox 2 news article. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when you said shit's hitting the fan, were you talking about what?
I was talking about the news media and about what's going to happen on the station.
And when the words sticking up for us or against us was used, which, by the way, was hearsay that you let in related
I
to
didn't
Fox.
object. I was cross-examining the witness and refreshing his recollection.
What did you-
I think that gratuitous comment should be struck.
What do you mean? I'll withdraw my gratuitous comment. What did you mean sticking up for us or against us?
I was referring to the position that the news media had taken.
You recognize that sometimes the media takes a position against the police,
Oh, yes.
sometimes for us?
Yes.
Question was asked.
Correct.
What was the response?
Yeah, I believe I responded, cool.
Did he respond sticking up?
Yes, I'm sorry.
And then did you respond cool?
Yes, I'm sorry.
And that's relating to the media.
Correct.
You are trying to tell Zelenuski to stick up.
No, sir.
You are trying to form his opinion on what it is that he should say.
No, sir.
You are trying to form a blue curtain with him to try and structure a defense of the case that you saw that might be coming.
No, sir.
It was about the media and how the media was portraying it.
Correct.
Nothing further.
Anything further?
Who's the us that you're sticking up for?
I'm sorry, sir. Was that for me?
Yeah.
The us that would be sticking up first?
Yeah,
The news
who's the
media.
us you referring to?
The police department.
Here you go. Thank you. Step down. Next witness. Mr. Thomas.
I am checking my equipment, Judge.
Can I secure this
Do
line?
whatever you need to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Step forward, witness.
Your Honor, this is Nicholas Zapko.
Your Honor, this is the witness we spoke of.
Well, let's just examine them until we can do it. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm testimony? Wait a minute. Can I turn the vote? Excuse me. What you think on the phone? Witness, step forward.
Judge.
May I? Stop. Anyway, the court has had an opportunity to have a sidebar on this matter. Before we call this witness to the stand, I want to appoint him a lawyer, okay? And then we're going to call another witness, and we'll make a determination as to what we're going to do after we take the other witness's testimony. Please, have a seat.
You can have it in that room.
And
There were materials that he was going to be provided?
we'll have that shortly. Okay, very good. You have another witness?
I do.
All right, come on.
Your Honor, this is Dr. Aaron Wester.
Raise your right hand. Do something for a firm. Something about you this matter. I know you're excited. Try again. Raise your right hand. Do solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes,
You may
will
be
be.
seated. Spell your first and last name. You may proceed. Sit back. Yeah.
Very good.
What's your name and address?
My name is Aaron, A-A-R-O-N, middle initial J, Westbrook, W-E-S-T-R-I-C-K.
You may proceed, counsel at law.
And, sir, what is your occupation?
I am a college professor,
And where do you teach?
Lake Superior State University.
Dr. Westbrook, your testimony is here as proffered as an expert witness relating to the use of force. Prior to coming in here, did you prepare a curriculum vitae?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'd ask you to take a look at proposed exhibit number D and tell me whether or not you believe that that is your CV.
Yes, it is.
Now, for the Okay, wrong number, okay. Tell us what a CV is.
A curriculum vitae is my background, my educational background, my experience background, different papers and so forth that I published. It's pretty much like a resume, but in academic terms, you call it a CV, curriculum vitae.
You have a degree, do you?
Oh, yes, I do.
When did you graduate from college?
I graduated with a PhD in 1998 at Wayne State University, studying sociology, police violence. In 1986, I received a master's degree from Wayne State University, studying criminal justice. And in 1982, I received my bachelor's degree from Michigan State University.
All right. do you have a status at the university of, that you are occupied?
Yes.
What school is it that you teach?
I teach in the School of Criminal Justice.
And what is your position there?
I'm an associate professor of criminal justice.
Can you tell the jury what an associate professor is?
In simple terms, it means I have a PhD and I'm tenured.
And you've been operating as an associate professor since when?
Associate professor since 2004.
Sir, can you tell me what your areas of study were that are relevant to this case?
I've studied police use of force extensively, written a book.
And what is the name of the book?
Use of force investigation.
Prior to coming here today, did you meet with the prosecutor's office?
I dropped the book off, yes, sir.
Did you drop the book off at the prosecutor's office?
Yes, sir, I did.
And is this the book?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. And when did this become published?
Originally published a few months ago, 2 months ago, the final first edition.
Okay. Now, prior to that time, have you attended lectures or given lectures relating to the use of force?
Many. I've given many lectures and seminars regarding use of force.
Are those contained within your curriculum vitae?
Yes, they are.
Now, you have another expertise, and that's relating to something else?
I'm also an expert in ballistics,
Okay.
in body and armor systems.
But those are contained in your CV as well?
Yes.
But I want to focus on the use of force because that is the focus of what it is we're testifying to here today, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so when I ask you questions, I'm going to ask you questions relating to that.
You gotta keep your voice up.
When I ask you questions, I'm going to ask you questions related to that.
Yes.
All right. Now, are you now engaged in any teaching assignments relating to the use of force?
Yes, I teach college, university courses.
And what is the course that you're teaching now that relates to the use of force?
I'm teaching ethics right now that relates to the use of force. I also teach criminal investigation, which relates to the use of force. And I teach almost continuously a course that's called crisis intervention, and it relates to the use of force.
Have you attended seminars related to use of force?
Yes.
And those are contained within your CV?
Yes.
And have you lectured on the issue of the use of force previously?
Many different places, different law enforcement organizations.
So those are also contained
Yes,
in
sir.
your CV?
Yes, sir.
Sir, have you testified in court previously?
Yes.
Have you testified in depositions previously
Yes.
relating to the issue of the use of force?
Yes.
And approximately how many times have you been deposed?
Approximately 20 times.
And how many times have you testified in court where you've been qualified as an expert on the use of force?
3 times that I can recall.
And what counties were they?
One would be in Chippewa County, East Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. The other would be Oakland County, Pontiac. And a civil case, the Southern District of Iowa, federal.
All right. And at that point, were you qualified and were you allowed to testify as an expert in that particular discipline?
Yes, sir.
Move to admit his CV.
I don't want to admit it. I'm sorry.
Okay, and then we'll hold off on that. Would you like to voir dire?
I would, Judge.
Okay, very good. Please.
You ever testified in a criminal case as an expert in the field of use of force?
Yes.
Before
How many times?
2 times regarding use of force of police.
Have you ever been excluded from testimony in a case?
No.
You familiar with the case of Vade and Cook and Markel over in federal court in front of Judge Doggett?
I didn't catch the name, sir.
Well, maybe I can refresh your recollection.
Thank you.
The name of the case or the name of the judge?
Judge Doggett.
The name of the case, I believe. That's how I remember things.
I'm going to hand you an opinion in order and ask if that refreshes your recollection, sir.
I remember the case, but I don't. I remember.
Could you turn to the highlighted portion of that
Okay,
opinion?
I don't remember this.
Were you precluded from testifying in that case as an expert?
Give him an opportunity.
Okay.
It appears so. It's the first I've seen it.
You know the date, please?
Pardon me?
Okay, what's the date of the document?
You want to take a look at the date on that order?
Are you aware of this order, Mr. Thomas?
Judge, I have not been shown it.
Okay, very good. Do you have another copy?
I can give them this.
Okay.
Or give them.
Did you see the date of that witness?
Yes. Yes, sir.
What date was that?
January 9th, 2013.
Okay. Do you know what that was in the matter of, sir?
I do remember the case.
What was it?
It was a civil case regarding two Detroit police officers and their excessive use of force. They'd already
Okay,
been through the criminal system.
Okay.
And what was the reason you were precluded from testifying, sir?
It appeared.
Mr. Thomas, a copy.
No, he has not.
Can you give it to him, please?
Give them mine.
It's off the record.
Thank you, Judge.
And what was the reason you were precluded from testifying, sir?
It appears that the judge thought I gave a legal opinion.
A biased opinion, reaching legal conclusions, things like that?
I just saw that, sir.
No, that's not what you said. Go ahead, go ahead.
Sir, you were precluded from testifying in a case called Booth versus Aldrich in Bay City. Do you remember that case?
No, sir, I do not.
That what it says?
Are you aware of this?
No,
Excuse
ma'am.
me?
No, ma'am.
Quiet. Attorney, Mr. Thomas, are you aware of this second?
Oh, no, Judge, I don't have that either.
Can we get a copy? Are there any more issues that we need to get copies of anything?
These are published opinions, sir.
I know, but specifically.
Don't stop at 2, Judge.
Do you have a copy?
Well, now, are you implying there's more?
I can continue if you'd like.
I don't have any recollection of that.
You don't remember the case, or you don't remember that you were precluded from testifying?
I don't remember I was precluded. I don't think I remember the case either.
Don't have any recollection.
He's answered that question, Judge.
He said he has no recollection, his memory may be refreshed.
I don't recall this.
I have no further questions.
Well, may I see it?
Well, what was the basis?
Well, he says he doesn't remember.
Right, he doesn't.
I don't remember even seeing that case.
Well, I'd like to see it.
I just have it right here, sir.
Well, that's fine. Thank you. Judge, can we approach?
Yes.
Judge, can the record reflect
Can I finish? sir?
what, I'm sorry, I have the podium.
I don't think so.
Do you want to clarify the record? Your Honor, should he clarify the record, please?
I don't think he was done. Go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor.
Your testimony was not allowed in that case because your report was not provided to the other side. Is that correct?
I have no recollection of that case.
In a timely fashion.
Do you remember doing the case?
No, ma'am, I don't.
I have no further questions.
Well, Your Honor, for purposes of the record, the report that was not provided,
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. The last- Okay, what'd you say, Mr. Donaldson? You had to, about taking the floor. He said he wasn't finished. What'd you say?
What did I say?
You said,
The testimony was precluded because the lawyer didn't provide his report to the opposing side.
very good, okay. Do you recall the case and the response by the witnesses now? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
that case, Your Honor, has nothing to do with his qualifications as an expert.
Are you asking him a question?
I want the record to reflect that that case is because of a lawyer's failure to timely give notice, not because of his qualifications.
I still know.
Thank you. Now, at this point, Your Honor, I move for him to be admitted as an expert for purposes of the use of force.
No objection for what it's worth.
Very good. What does that mean? That means like any other expert witness, you can give it whatever way you choose appropriate. You are the witness.
Are you ready to cue it up?
But the court will now allow him, based on his experience, to be received as an expert in the field of use of force. You may proceed. You ready, Mr. Thomas?
Yes. Can we now have, well, all right, Dr. Westrick, did you review materials before you came here today?
Yes, sir.
Did you review the video of Officer Melendez's car on January 28th of 2015?
Yes.
How many times did you review it?
I probably reviewed it 20 times.
And what was the purpose of doing that?
Look at the overall totality of circumstance and to view the use of force.
The use of force is a question that a lot of people have talked about today and before in the court. What is the standard for the use of force for a police officer?
The standard for the use of force for a police officer is what's called the objective reasonable officer standard.
And what does that mean in layman's terms?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. The measure that's to be used in the analysis is the law given to it by the court, not this way.
Exactly.
Well,
May I, as the court has indicated to you, this is a standard they use within, say, their industry to make a determination. Ultimately, whether or not the force was proportional and it constituted a crime is up to you, the judges of the facts. This is basically given as a guideline to help you understand in the area of law enforcement what the standards will be. You understand?
Your Honor, at this point, I'd ask that you read the instruction on the use of force that we had talked about before coming to trial.
I'm not doing it.
I think that it would be relevant for the jury to have a framework within which to analyze this testimony, and that's why I'm asking for it.
Can the attorneys approach? That's right. Very good. This time, the court is going to allow you to, the questioning to continue. I'm going to give you an instruction that both parties will have to agree upon. So for the sake of timing, we're going to proceed with the questions and the court will properly instruct you when your parties agree on the instruction. You may proceed with this.
Are you familiar with the term use of force continuum?
Yes, sir.
What is the use of force continuum?
You've got to keep your voice up. It keeps trailing off. Use the force. Go ahead.
What is the use of force continuum?
Use of force continuum is a guideline that police officers use to escalate and de-escalate their use of force based on the subject or subject control.
And is this something that is involved in the training of police officers that you are aware of?
Yes.
Are there standards for the use of force?
Yes, there are.
Can you tell the jury what those standards are and from where?
The standards, as far as the use of force continuum, come from the Michigan Council on Law Enforcement Standards, MCOLS we call it, and it is a force continuum and it has 5 basic steps that are cross from each other, and it shows how officers maintain the use of force and control based on the subject's actions. It goes from verbal presence to all the way to deadly force.
Are these MCOLS standards published?
Yes, sir.
And are they part of your teaching materials?
Yes, they are.
And have you attended lectures that show them to exist?
Absolutely.
And have you brought those MCOLS standards with you today?
Yes.
I'm going to show you a 2-page exhibit, proposed exhibit number F. May I approach, Judge? I'd ask you to take a look at exhibit F. Are those the MCOLS standards?
Yes, sir.
And the second page is also attached to it?
Yes. Usually it's up front and back. It's one piece, continuous piece, but
Is this a basis upon which you are going to be talking to the jury today?
yes, sir.
All right. And move to admit defense exhibit F.
Any objection?
No.
When you say that a police officer has a right to escalate the use of force,
I'm going to object to he has the right to. That's the jury.
Sustained. Normally, an officer can.
yes, yes. Well, normally officers can use force under circumstances when they're involved with a citizen.
Yes, they can escalate and de-escalate.
All right. If there is passive resistance, can officers use force? In other words, lay hands on a person who is passively resisting a lawful order.
Yes.
Okay.
Open.
Go ahead.
To be open. In that situation, show this, if a passive resistance, the officer could use what they call compliance controls, which essentially is what they call open-handed controls.
Is there a difference between passive resistance and active resistance?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, and without looking at the document, I want you to talk to me, talk to the jury, talk to the court. I want you to tell me what is the difference between active resistance and passive resistance?
Active resistance is, passive resistance is someone that's pretty much, let's say, limp, that they're not going along with the control measure, but they're not resisting at all. And active resistance, we're getting to when they're pulling back and so forth. They're pulling away from trying to get away, essentially.
What is the danger in a situation where there is active resistance, if any?
Well, obviously a police officer, depending on the totality of circumstances, would want to keep control of the situation if he or she were arresting that person or taking them into custody, detaining them. Because there could be a weapon involved, the subject could flee. There could be a weapon involved, the police officer could be hurt or citizenry could be hurt.
Now, you said that there is a totality of circumstances. We've seen the video of the actual
Wait a
strike.
minute, hold on for a minute. What is totality of the circumstances?
It means taking into consideration all that the officer would have known at the time.
Go ahead.
And so when I want to talk about what the officer would take into consideration, the hypothetical officer, would it be just what happens at the time that he is initially confronting the citizen?
No, there could be a time when the officer, the totality circumstance could evolve around what the officer reasonably believes is going on, or what crime may be committed, or is going to be committed.
Okay. In this particular instance, there's a video. It includes more than just the striking of Mr. Dent. Is that correct?
Yes.
You have viewed the video, you say 20 times. Did you view the video just from the perspective of the striking, or did you view the video from the time that the surveillance was initially set up?
I'm going to object. He doesn't know that there was any surveillance set up. He doesn't have any basis to do that.
Wow.
Let's just go with
The video,
that has been admitted.
all right. You're aware of police techniques?
Yes.
All right. I think we should go to the video so that we can get this moving along.
Deputy Lee? One second, do you
All
get
right.
a little pointer?
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Do you have one for him?
I got one.
All right. Zach, can I take
Do you have a laser for him?
I got one.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Johnson.
This is Exhibit 1. Video's 1.
Uh-oh, something's going on with the TV. It's not working.
I think it's still waiting, John.